Win, lose, draw.
Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the Win, Lose, Draw podcast. So this is the final episode of the Premier League Awards where we're doing the surprise team, the most underperforming team, and the worst haircuts. How is everyone? Looking forward to this?
Cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to these categories.
You're interested?
Especially the last one.
I'm intrigued to see what we say. For number 7, we've got surprise package. I've gone for 3. I think there's a few teams that we're probably going to be quite agreed with. There might be a few deviations. Simon, who have you gone for?
I've gone for Sheffield, Leicester and Burnley.
Nice. Jake?
Gone for Sheffield, Wolves and Leicester.
That's exactly what I've gone for. I've gone for
to be fair,
Sheffield, Wolves and Leicester.
Yeah. So for me, though, I'm not surprised. Well, I put them as a surprise package, but I'm not really surprised at their performances other than Sheffield. Like, Wolves are a solid team defensively, and going forward, they're just as good, especially when they got Traore playing.
Do you think you're surprised at just how high up they are at this stage of the season?
Like, I know they're
pushing for Champions League, essentially.
They're pushing for Champions League. They are quarterfinals of the Europa League as well.
Exactly.
They've actually performed in Europe.
Yeah, forget
Whereas
about that.
Europa League's been a weird one, where there's the big 6, and then it's usually whoever gets 7th, which is basically what the dream was for all of the mid-table fodder of the Premier League. Get that 7th.
I like that.
Get that 7th place. And Burnley did it. Southampton have done it. West Ham have done it over the years. All of them have basically gone out in the qualifiers of the group stages because they've rested players so they can focus on the Premier League to try and get 7th place again.
Yeah.
It's madness, I think.
Like, if you're going to get into it, just go for it. I don't get it. But
as
then
long as you secure Premier League
now pushing, but they've done more than that. Wolves have been incredible. They're so impressive, Wolves.
Yeah, I think Leicester are a similar team. Like, they're a good team, especially on like the players they've got.
Yeah,
Vardy getting his 100th goal recently, and I just think that they've got the quality. It's just, I think maybe it's a surprise because the teams that are normally there aren't there, like Arsenal, Spurs.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting
back
that title-winning team, Leicester, and it's kind of slowly been kind of players have gone off here and there and so on. But I wasn't expecting them to kind of be so high up.
Yeah.
After losing those players, but I think they've recruited well and they haven't made any rash decisions or anything.
11v11. What team is stronger, Leicester's title-winning team or their current team? Right, so we go Kasper Schmeichel's in both, obviously.
Yeah, do position by position,
Position by position, Wes Morgan and Robert Hoof, or Soyuncu and Johnny Evans?
I'd take Soyuncu over the other two, but Johnny Evans, I'm not a fan.
Soyuncu and Hoof I'd go for.
I'd say that's like one each at the moment.
Yeah, maybe Hoof and Morgan, I think they've both got different qualities as well. I think I do rate Evans, and they got him on a free, which is a bargain.
That's a good deal.
What they got him for.
Something's all about them deals.
Does love a deal. Right back, Danny Simpson or Pereira. It's got to be Pereira.
Yeah.
Left back, Fuchs or Chilwell.
That's quite a tough one, I think.
It's tough, especially Fuchs of 2015.
Yeah, maybe not now.
2016, yeah.
I think I would have gone Fuchs, not going to lie.
I don't think I've seen enough of Chilwell yet.
Fuchs then for Chilwell now, I'd say Fuchs. Midfield, Danny Drinkwater, Kante.
The thing is, though, like Kante, whoever, he's better than Tielemans. And
Tillmans, Maddison.
So Kante's better than Tielemans or
Ndidi.
Yeah, but I like Ndidi
very
as well.
Good, though. He's very good.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't have, like, if we go Kante or Ndidi as that defensive one.
Yeah, so I think of the season you have to go Kante, don't you?
Kante was arguably one of the best players in the league. Well, probably second best player in the league that season.
To who?
To Mahrez, who won Player of the Year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one more for...
So, probably out of Tillmans or Maddison over Drinkwater. Different players,
but
I know.
If you look at how they played to win that season, they needed Drinkwater.
Yeah.
because every time he got the ball, he would look up for Vardy and play that long ball in behind. Whereas they're not doing that now, so it depends. I think that's a hard one.
It's a tough one.
I think if I was to pick a player based on their ability, I'd probably pick Maddison over Drinkwater. Tielemans I'm not impressed with yet, but
I like him. I think I'm a little bit biased. He's kind of one of those Football Manager wonder kids that I've always had an eye on. He's always been good on FIFA career modes, so I'm a little bit biased with him. But so we've got the wingers. We've got Mark Albrighton or Harvey Barnes.
I think that's quite a even
I'd say it's quite even. Harvey Barnes for his age, I'd say better.
Yeah. As of recently, I'd take Harvey Barnes.
Then Mahrez over, I'd say Gray. Or what other wingers do they have?
They have someone else that plays Perez on the wings.
So yeah, they don't really play with like out-and-out wingers anymore, though, do they?
No,
as much. So
they use their fullbacks more. But either way, whoever of those
but
wingers
Mahrez wins that. Yeah. Say even if we put
Mahrez,
Maddison there instead, like if we went Tillmans against Drinkwater and then Maddison against Mahrez, Mahrez wins that because he was the best player in the league, and he was so good.
He was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So Leicester's up top. Obviously, Vardy's the same. Iheanacho, is he better than Leonardo, Ojoa, or Okazaki?
Oh, he can't beat Okazaki.
I loved Okazaki. He was one of my favourite players that season.
Just for team morale, you got to have him in it over
Iheanacho. Iheanacho is good. I'd say footballing ability, Iheanacho is better. Okazaki gets in my team every time. He was just like, every time he scored, he had that massive grin on his face. And everyone just loved him. I think, he was so good. I wonder where he is now.
Huesca. Spanish football.
Spanish. Yeah. So how far do you think Brendan Rodgers can take this Leicester team?
I don't know. I think he's obviously doing quite well. I think this summer, if he gets some more players in, he could actually get an even better team. And then I was about to say, and then it depends how Vardy does, but he keeps, even at, he's what, how old is he? 30?
32?
32, I think, yeah.
So you think his performance would decline, but it probably won't.
No.
I think he'll keep going until he's like late 30s.
So
the next Teddy Sheringham.
He'll adapt, but then he'll still be like somehow still slightly quicker than everyone.
Yeah.
So those Red Bulls.
Yeah, but I think Brendan will do. He is doing a good job, and he can do a lot more.
With the money the Big Six have, it'll be tough to stay in. I think this is the case for Wolves and Leicester. They've got to do a lot of good work and like good signings, and be able to keep their players. Like there's talk of Jimenez might go to Real Madrid.
Traore as well.
Traore, Chilwell, either like City or Chelsea. Maddison as well. He's been linked with all the Big Six. I think if they can keep their players, and that is the big if.
I think it'll be interesting because a lot of clubs are going to be struggling money-wise. Like even the top teams, I think.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not struggling, but reluctant.
Not Chelsea. They're
clearly not Chelsea. They had their struggles where they weren't allowed to sign any, and now they're. Kai Havertz is the next one, apparently, 90 million.
Yeah, Liverpool wanted him as well, didn't they? So
they did, yeah. That's Chelsea's new strategy. Who does Liverpool want? Let's buy them.
Buy them.
Their transfer policy has been pretty good recently, so let's just do whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's like when you play Monopoly in it, and someone's bought like a green or something. Like, oh, better buy green as well. Yeah,
better get one of those. So, before start the season, who out of the three of us had Sheffield United to get relegated?
Probably. I honestly can't remember.
Because we did those predictions, didn't we? It'd be interesting to see.
Dig those up at some point.
I'm saying that.
They weren't anywhere near they are now, I can tell you that now.
Yeah, weirdly, everyone start the season, their conception was Sheffield United are going to struggle and Norwich are going to do really well.
Up, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I
think
remember
Norwich were playing really well
last season.
In the Championship, weren't they?
Yeah, and I think they've smashed it this season. It's like sometimes when teams come up they can have a really strong first season because people just don't really know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
So whether they can push on next season when teams have figured them out a little bit, say Chris Wilder, I think Jake's
Well, I
probably
think that's showing
best
now.
tactics corner.
I think that's shown now, though, isn't it? Because you've had that break, and Sheffield have come back, and they haven't been as prolific
Could
going
be Tottenham.
forward. Yeah, it's not hard though. Anyone can. Yeah, whether that's because of, I don't know, fitness or whatever, like you haven't seen the centre backs getting forward as much as before, and it's just not as energetic. But I think maybe that's just the situation of COVID that's come across. But yeah, next season I think they won't be anywhere near as high, but I don't think they'll go down.
Yeah, I think we still have mid-table next season.
I think they'll be like Bournemouth when they came up.
Yeah.
Although Bournemouth didn't get this good, so.
No, so yeah, it's like Bournemouth's first season they were like solid, kind of. I think they finished 16th, and then they had a 9th place. So they kind of did it like second season, really pushed on. I think Sheffield United, they're a reasonably big club as well. I think they're probably here to stay if they can. Chris Wilder's done a good job. I can't see them getting rid of him anytime soon either. So we've got one more, right? Who did? Simon went Burnley.
Burnley, yeah.
So yeah, so Burnley surprise package.
Yeah, their recent form has been very, very good. They've won a lot of games, and they climbed up the table now. I think they're like 10th.
Yeah.
I expected them to be sort of scrapping at the bottom, kind of maybe just making 40 points, but I think they're on 45 now. Dyche is just solid. Burnley.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't have them as a surprise because I expect that of Burnley. I expect them to be. They are the new Stoke, not in like the style of football. Their style of football is better than Stoke's. I'm not.
Wow, was good.
I'm giving Dyche more credit than that because
yeah,
the way they play, I really like. It's actually really interesting to watch Burnley, like the runs the forwards make. It's so basic but so good.
Yeah, and defensively they're so sound.
Yeah, and like they've got some good players throughout. It's like they've got Chris Wood, Ashley Barnes, very good strikers. Jay Rodriguez, another good, solid Premier League striker.
But Vidra looks half decent as well.
Vidra's decent. Dwight McNeil, who's a youngster there. He was at Vidra was at Watford. Yeah. He was at Watford like throughout their championship years. Yeah, I think he kind of dotted around a few championship teams. Yeah, to be honest, I just expect that of Burnley. I know after they got Europe, they struggled. I think with the schedule, they struggled last season, and early this season they didn't do great, but they just sorted it out. I think.
Yeah, I just think recently I've been a bit surprised, but yeah, I see what you mean. That it's kind of expected at the same time.
They've got a resilience that I wish my team had. Basically, I'm trying not to.
Sorry, who do you support?
Support Bournemouth. They're going down. All right. On that happy note, who are we going for? So, Burnley, Sheffield United, Wolves, or Leicester?
I think there's one winner here, really.
Yeah,
there's only one.
Sheffield United, right?
Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah. Considering almost everyone expect them to be bottom of the league this season, to be pushing for Europe with 5 games to go is unreal. They've smashed it. Okay, so Sheffield United are the win-lose-draw surprise package. So number 8, this is not quite as impressive teams, the underperforming team of the year.
This is where Robbie's about to cry.
This is where we've already discussed a certain team a little bit, so I'm going to try and edge away from them. I'm going to start with West Ham, who amongst it with the relegation battle, obviously beat Chelsea recently, which massively helped them.
Yeah.
But I think that game sort of sums it up. You look at the players they've got. Yarmolenko, who Sebastian Haller they spent 40 million on.
He's done well though. Like
he's done okay, but then he's not.
Impact, but he's done. Like he's got some crucial goals.
Yeah, he had a good start to the season. Lanzini, who I really rate. I think he's a quality player. Antonio is a very good player. Cresswell, good left back.
Yeah.
They've got good players throughout, and the fact that they're in a relegation battle is ridiculous, really. And again, I remember a lot of people thinking they might be pushing for Europe after they made signings like Haller and things.
Yeah. For me, they're like a team very similar to Everton. Like that's where they should be.
Yeah, they've definitely got quality players, but as a team, they're just not really there.
Yeah, I think West Ham have, for a few years now, they've kind of underperformed basically
Oh, yeah.
since Dimitri
they
Payet
changed
left
stadium.
and since they changed stadium, West Ham haven't been where with the players they've got, where they should be. And I think again this year, there's still a chance they'll go down. I think, to be honest, I think they've got Norwich next, which will be huge for them if they get the win. They're almost sorted. Like obviously Watford beat Norwich today. That's massively helped them. I think if West Ham get a win, they're almost safe.
Yeah.
The fact that group of players is in a relegation battle, I think definitely they go down as underperforming. Another one I had was Arsenal. So a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Again, for a club similar to West Ham, for a club like Arsenal, not so much with the players they have. The players they have currently, majority are 7th to 10th in the Premier League bracket, I'd say. Like we said, David Luiz, great signing on Chelsea's part. They've got a few bits and pieces. I thought Kieran Tierney was a good signing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he does look good.
Aubameyang and Lacazette up front are on their day, which I think is a key. Obviously, Aubameyang's class. Lacazette on his day they are a title challenging strike force.
Well, I think with Lacazette,
don't have anything behind him.
I think with Lacazette, if you supply him, he'll score.
Yeah.
Because when before he came, his conversion rate was the best in his league or in Europe or something. I can't remember exactly, but
yeah.
So I think it just shows like if you can actually get the ball to him, it makes a big difference. Whereas at Arsenal, he's not really got anything pushing him forward, is he?
No, I think that's the issue. I think they've got two world-class strikers in Aubameyang and Lacazette, but the rest of the team...
They're missing a Wiltshire.
Yeah, they're missing, which they tried, like Danny Ceballos, they thought maybe would be that person. Obviously, they've still got Mesut Ozil, who's just been non-existent for a couple of years. He's
disappeared, isn't he?
He has got that club he's got that club on absolute strings, though. He's getting 300 grand a week. Every now and then he'll pop up and play an absolute blinder against, like, Bournemouth.
And he'll get back into hibernation.
So Arsenal fans will be like, this is the man we need to take us. It's the manager's fault. And then he'll just play Fortnite again.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about Arsenal, and there's also not much to be said about Arsenal. You can just put it down to they're becoming a bit Tottenham.
Yeah, it's the mentality, isn't it? I think that's something that Arteta's trying to address.
It is the history.
Yeah, because they don't have, like, I think I read that Arteta wants to make an elite environment, and that's why he hasn't got time for Ozil and Guendouzi.
Yeah, although like there's questions on Guendouzi's attitude, and I think Guendouzi's a really good player, or at least he's got the raw ability to be a really good player.
Yeah, that's why they need that mentality, though, to make sure you get there. But
yeah. So, did anyone else have Arsenal?
Yeah, I had Arsenal. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I think because they obviously changed manager. Is it back in November?
Yeah,
Emery getting
November. You might as well just do it mid-season, pre-season. Get a whole pre-season with Arteta in.
Yeah, I think next season will be interesting to see how they get on.
Yeah, I think he's made a positive impact, though.
Yeah,
definitely. And like he's not had a pre-season yet, so obviously he's had this mini COVID pre-season. But he's got an opportunity to put his own Pep 2.0 footmark on the team.
Yeah, definitely.
But they've got a long way to go before they're challenging for top 4, I think, let alone titles. I think Arsenal fans need to accept that they're not going to be amongst the trophies for
a while.
At least 5 years without major investment. Maybe they'll nick an FA Cup or something. Yeah, they're just so far off City, Liverpool, Chelsea are miles above them. Currently, who would you rather sign for this season, Leicester or Arsenal? Obviously, say you're 20. Say you're 22.
If this was before Arteta, I'd definitely say Leicester. But
even with Arteta,
now with Arteta, I would be 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So even to that point, what about Wolves? Would you rather sign for Wolves or Arsenal? Probably Arsenal, personally.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
they're on as a club. They're on the way up.
I'll be controversial and say Wolves.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Wolves, to be honest. But as a club, they're on the way up, and Arsenal are on the way down. The fact is, if Arsenal were struggling against those sort of teams to get players, they're going to struggle, and the only thing they're going to be able to do is splash big money on people like Pepe, and they're just going to have to outprice these teams for people that are on the back of a good season. And then if you think Liverpool got Van Dijk for 3 million more, who
would you rather have?
Sorted their team, I think,
I agree.
Arsenal are a mess. And before I go to my Final one. What other teams did you have?
So I actually got that wrong. I actually had West Ham, not Arsenal. So I take that
Okay.
back. And then I had Spurs.
Yeah.
If any of you
Yeah,
had.
same. Yeah.
I
And
was
had-
torn between Tottenham and Arsenal.
Yeah, I think they're both in a similar boat. And
Yeah.
I looked at Jose again. I was like, I thought in the Prem they'll get top 4, maybe push a bit more, but not win it, or nowhere near win it, obviously.
Yeah.
But then with the Champions League, I was expecting quite big things.
Yeah.
I think that's something that Jose's done very well when he's gone to new clubs, especially with his like defensive approach.
He does. He still has hasn't had a full pre-season with Tottenham yet, though, to really instill like that sort of thing. And he's also got an aging defence.
Yeah, I was going to say the thing is that the defence at Spurs it's good, but it's not what it was. So
It's 5 years ago.
So Simon, do you think Tottenham's chance for a Premier League title is gone? Like you could sniff it 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another couple of years at least before we're properly challenging again.
Oh wait, was that when Eden Hazard scored that worldie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good goal. That. Roll the clip.
Don't roll the clip. Yeah, I think a bit like Arsenal. I think because both teams have changed managers throughout the season. Just need to have a proper pre-season and just let Jose, put his stamp on the team. I'm really looking forward to him getting the defensive players he wants if he's allowed to by Levy, and just hopefully building something solid. Because obviously, like Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Trippier, Rose have been good over the last few years, but I think it'd be nice to get quality defenders and the Jose mentality.
Agreed. For the long-term future of Tottenham, do you think getting rid of Pochettino for Mourinho was a good idea?
The long-term future.
Long-term.
I think he's going to come back one day. That's my theory. He'll be back. There's unfinished business there, definitely.
I agree with you, actually.
I think maybe give it 10 years or something. Yeah, we'll see.
It was a rough season. It was like a complete fallout after the Champions League final.
It's amazing how we've gone from that Champions League final to where the team are now in such a short space of time.
Yeah, I remember discussing straight after that final, being like, "This is what Liverpool did. They lost it. They learned from this. They come back stronger."
But the difference is they invested. They moved forward. We didn't move anywhere.
Yeah,
we moved backwards. Lost players.
Did you buy anyone? You didn't, did you?
Lo Celso.
When we got Lo Celso.
Lo Celso, technically, yeah. And,
he was on loan. I think we signed him now.
Yeah, they got him on loan and then signed him in January, and then
Bergwijn.
Yeah.
And Ndombele.
That was the summer transfer. The big. Finally, they splashed the cash. And Ryan Sessegnon,
mixed.
who was one for the future. But again, I think you look at Tottenham's team and the players they've got, and they should be higher than where they are. I think. I don't know if Jake would agree. Yeah, they've got a few players that just aren't hitting the heights that they could be. Obviously, Kane's struggled with injury this season. Still,
you haven't seen much from Son, to be honest.
Son's been a lot quieter than
season.
Last season. He was destroying, especially Champions League.
Yeah,
he was my favourite player last season.
Yeah,
but from a tactical perspective, Jake, do you think that Mourinho's style is obviously different to Pochettino's? Do you think because we're not pressing as high, we're not? Do you think that's affecting?
Well, no,
Son's play?
No, you've just got to play them differently.
Yeah,
I think the thing that's limiting Mourinho there would be Kane, because obviously when you play defensively like that, you've got to have that quick counter attack. Kane isn't the quickest.
No,
so you're relying on Son, who's got the pace, and he scored that worldie of a goal where he dribbled past however many. Was that against Sheffield United?
I think it was West Ham or Burnley.
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, where he dribbled through all those players.
Yeah.
Like, he's capable of doing that kind of thing. But and you've got Lucas Moura and Bergwijn, or however you say his name, who's rapid as well. So you just got to change.
It's almost like is Kane going to become more of a false nine to allow this?
I think he's got to become more of like a
target man,
fox in the box type thing.
Yeah,
that's if he even stays at the club,
which would be interesting because I can't see Kane leaving the Premier League because I think he sniffs Shearer's record with the injuries and the frequency of the injuries he's getting, I'm not sure if it's going to be achievable. I've always said for the last 3 years that I think he'll break Shearer's record. He's like 100 goals off, but he's running out of time if he keeps getting injured, I think.
Yeah, he has to stay in the Prem, doesn't he, to do that?
Thing is, I don't know what European club would want him, especially with the injury record, and the price tag Levy will put on him, because he only signed a contract fairly recently, if I'm right. I think
he did. Yeah.
How old is Lewandowski? He's not even old.
Yeah, I was about to say I could see him replacing Lewandowski's like 33.
Okay, so that would be the only team that I could see him getting to.
Yeah, I was about to say I could see him at Bayern replacing Lewandowski, but even that,
couldn't see him at Madrid or Barca.
The thing with Bayern as well is guaranteed trophies.
Yeah.
So whether he does, Harry Kane's ability probably does deserve a few trophies.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a paradox, isn't it? Because like I was saying earlier, you got Mourinho, like trophy machine.
Yeah.
1 trophy, 0, and you got Tottenham and Kane, like trophyless. He must have a dilemma in his head. Do I stay here and gamble, but it is with Mourinho, or do I go elsewhere and definitely win?
I don't think Kane suits Mourinho. Mourinho's style of play, personally.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
Like, look at the teams he's had. Like, he's had someone that's big but also fast.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kane is that.
Mourinho will either have to adapt to having someone like Harry Kane, who is an asset if you use him in the right way, or even if you don't use him in the right way, he's still going to score goals. That's the thing with Kane. But then Mourinho's proven to win trophies in a certain system. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, because I don't see him adapting.
So, moving on to your last one, Robbie, is it?
So my last one. Yeah. So
our last one.
Might be ours, yeah.
It's definitely mine.
I'm assuming we've all got AFC Bournemouth as our other choice. Yeah. So honestly, start the season. What did you think AFC Bournemouth would be able to achieve this season?
Solid mid-table.
Yeah.
11th, 10th-ish.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought
doing
11th, 10th. We've got a young team. Maybe push.
Yeah.
Maybe push for, if we kick on, like if Fraser and Wilson, who had the biggest partnership in the Premier League last season, if they do that, add on David Brooks, we'd sign Danjuma, quite exciting. Lloyd Kelly, we'd strengthen our defence. Danjuma got injured. Lloyd Kelly got injured. David Brooks got injured.
It's just a season of injuries, really, isn't it?
Season of injuries, but it's not just that. It's just been flat. It's been so flat. Like we played well up until November. When we beat Man United in November, we went up to 7th. And since then, I don't think we've won more than 2 games.
In fairness, just before the COVID break, you beat Villa, and then you had the Burnley game where you played very well, should have won. And then you also played one of the top teams you played well against, but I think you lost like 1-0.
We lost to Liverpool. Oh, we drew to all with Chelsea as well.
And that as well. So those 4 games, you were in good form. The crowd were behind you, especially after the Villa game. And then this break, you go and have your fans. It's like an amalgamation of all these different things, different factors. And it's just been the downfall of the club. I think it's very unfortunate, especially for Eddie, if they do go down, because it's that stain.
It's a blotch in his record. But then Deitch has the same with Burnley, and then he brought them back up. It's just
do you think he'd stay?
It's whether I think if Eddie gets Bournemouth relegated, I think he'll stay at least another year.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he'll feel like it's
his job.
It's his job to bring him up. But the thing is as well, he's in danger of like he's almost turned down a few jobs when he was on the rise and he was the hot. He didn't turn him down, but he kind of shut them off. And he might almost be in danger of becoming like, oh, he's only going to be good with Bournemouth. Like everyone seems to think that he was awful at Burnley and that's why he came back. When even Deitch says that he'd set up the foundations for them to get promoted. He'd signed Danny Ings, he'd signed Trippier. Exactly. I thought Jay would like that. But I think he'll stay. However, it is worrying. Like we've seen managers get caught out. Like Mourinho, obviously different level to Eddie Howe and what he's won and what he's achieved. Mourinho is kind of almost becoming a little bit outdated and found out with his tactics. And I'm worried that is that the same for Eddie Howe?
I think that's what he's tried to do. He's tried to change a bit, especially when we've come back, and he's gone for like a 3 in the midfield opposed to his 4-4-1-1. And I feel like in that 4-4-1-1, they're so much more energetic and quicker, and now they're in this different system, and I'm not sure it's working for them too much.
Obviously, injuries haven't helped, but I think there's so many across the pitch players that have just underperformed. Like Callum Wilson's a shadow of what he was last season. Even Josh King, obviously the Fraser situation we've touched on, who's, if you're losing more than 10 assists a season from one person, that's going to be a negative. I think Harry Wilson's got our most goals, and he's not been that good.
It's from free kicks, though, isn't it?
It's mainly set plays. And like, that's another thing. We've scored 30 goals, I believe, and we've scored 15 of those from set pieces.
Wow.
And that is like Pulis ball.
So 15 goals from open play?
Yeah, that's it from open play this season.
Wow.
It's just been flat. We're going to go down, and we're just going to go down without like just a little whimper. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as well, it's been talking about Eddie Howe, but I think some of the recruitment decisions he's made have not been great.
Yeah.
You're looking at Jordan Ibe, you're looking at Solanke, you're looking at... there's a couple of players that my dad always goes on about.
Like, there's especially seems to be the ones we buy from Liverpool, like Brad Smith, Jordan Ibe, Solanke. We spent nearly 50 million on those 3 players.
Solanke's record is just atrocious.
Yeah, Solanke's frustrating. Like, it's almost getting past the point of, we need a goal and he can kick on. Like, he needs to like have a good season. Yeah, he needs to, Jordan Ibe was like, we can cross that one off. That was a complete failure. But then you look at that and you see his record. Nathan Ake, even with relegation, will probably make a profit on him. Maybe less so if Chelsea buy him back, because there's a buyback clause. David Brooks will make a profit on, no doubt. There's a few later, which is when Eddie Howe was at his peak of coaching. I'd say obviously he's still young; he can have another peak. But his height of like Callum Wilson 3 million, Josh King 1 million. These are players that can be sold. Ryan Fraser 200k, but then we're letting him on a free. There's a lot of good players. I am very triggered actually, not just by Ryan Fraser, just by the whole situation. I feel like we talked about Bournemouth a lot. So who is the most underperforming team?
Most underperforming.
I'm leaning towards Tottenham or Arsenal.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I can agree.
Because the expectations of both teams are very high.
I'd say higher for Tottenham, personally.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Especially off the back of the Champions League.
If we're judging it by the start of the season, obviously after Pochettino had gone, expectations were lowered because it's completely like, well, who knows what's going to happen? They've just got Mourinho in for like, who knows? This is I'd say.
I think Spurs is a good shout.
I think Spurs. Okay, so Tottenham is a win-lose draw underperforming team of the year.
Boo.
Right, boys. Last category. Haircuts.
My notes up.
So has everyone got there? I'm going to put them on the screen. So we'll start with you, Deus.
Okay.
What?
That's Eric Lamella, where he's decided, sod it. I'll just go bleach.
COVID lockdown haircut. Yeah. He looks like a Bond villain or something.
If a Bond villain and Ellen DeGeneres had a kid. Maybe. Yeah. To be honest, there's been a lot of cuts, but he's just went. You know what?
I didn't think it's that bad. I think it's just colour, isn't it? He just
the haircut itself is fine. It's just
it's just
it's
a bit boring. Colour. I think.
Yeah.
Just like randomly bleach it.
Yeah, I do find bleaching it as a little.
We're not that I've ever done it, but.
Yeah, and then the next one is Bobby Firmino, if you can already tell.
So
I gather that's him.
But in particular, the game against Man City, I think it was the first game where they came back from winning the league.
Yeah.
Because he had an absolute mess of a haircut and then dyed it red as well, I'll say. what you do.
Like, fair enough, you just won the league, but dye your hair red when you've got a normal haircut. Not.
Yeah, but if you're gonna dye it, get a haircut at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas he just dyed it.
So Jake only had 2. Right, Simon, what are yours?
The first one, this person's haircut is apparently a war crime. That's according to balls.ie.
Great name.
So that is Jack Grealish with the kind of highlights, man bun, floppy thing.
Is that what they call it?
There's a lot going on here, especially because sometimes it's like, especially after lockdown, it's really long, but he's kind of done the sides. Yeah, to be honest, it's a dodgy man bun, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's gone past the man bun, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's almost
got like a passing bit.
It's how it's coming out of the side. It's just like popping
out. It's got like a spider.
It's like 3 haircuts in one, isn't it? It's got it's got the short back and sides with that little fadey line that Gareth Bale used to have.
3-in-1 shower gel kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like you said, I want David Beckham from this year, and then this year.
But doesn't make him a better player. My second one is actually, well, I googled the haircut and it came up with this Twitter account, which I found mildly entertaining. So this is Todd Cantwell's hair, and it's a person tweeting as Todd Cantwell's hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all they said is, "Hey Todd, it's your hair here." Yeah, it's not a great barnet really.
He's
my girlfriend described it as the hair of a 6-year-old girl.
That is.
So if you're listening,
spot
Todd.
On. Yeah, no. To be honest, it's what it screams, and I believe what Todd is.
Todd what?
Todd what? Excuse me.
Todd Cantwell. What did I say?
I think you said some rude words there.
I don't
think you should say.
Did I say well?
Yeah, I think you should put a beef on that.
Right.
It's funny because you're going to watch that back and see that.
Yeah.
Dry away my tears.
So what I think it looks like, and what I think Todd Cantwell is an Essex boy that's tried to go for the surfer look.
Yeah, I can see that. And
it's like classic surfer look, but there's no beaches near him.
There's no beach in Norwich, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah, it's not a real beach though, is it? I bet they've got a pier. Yeah, that's it. It's not a beach.
It's not like a South Coast.
But he's got the hairstyle of someone from Cornwall.
Yeah.
But he's from Essex, and he does that surfer celebration when he scores as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, they got quite a nice beach by the looks of it.
Do they?
Yeah.
That is actually quite nice. It's probably still never going to go to Norwich.
Or Partridge.
Well, maybe for the duel in the Championship next season, I might.
Final one coming through now.
Oh.
Yes, that is a great shout.
It's not hair, but it is a beard. And this is Mike Dean's lockdown beard.
He just had to come with something though. He couldn't just come back as plain old Mike Dean. Mr. Celebrity Ref.
Described as plain.
He is. If you were to rank him on the Nando scale, he's the Vazul of the sauce.
The hot sauce.
Yeah. He's not a plain. He's not even a mango and lime or a lemon and herb. He is well up there. He's one of those jazzy ones that are still really hot.
Got time for that.
Yeah, but the beard's dodgy. It is dodgy, isn't it?
It's dodgy, but I like it. But then I only like it because it is Mike Dean.
I think it's because it's Mike Dean. Like, if anyone else was rocking that.
I think the fact that he's like got his tongue in the side of his mouth doesn't help this.
Yeah, that doesn't help that photo. I think as well, like, he's bold. Imagine if Pep came back with that sort of beard. You'd think he'd had a breakdown because Liverpool won the league. But Mike Dean gets away with it. He does support Tranmere, yeah.
How have they done?
I think
they've gone down, haven't they?
They got relegated.
Maybe that's why then.
On points per game.
Points per game. Oh, cruel. That's cruel.
Probably why he's got it then.
Oh, yeah. There's something about you can't help but love him, can you?
The league would be less boring. It would be more boring without him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So does he actually support Tottenham?
He supports Tranmere. He loves them.
It was Tottenham where it was like,
Yeah. Oh,
It's because he gave the advantage.
he gave the
that day, wasn't
advantage and he celebrated his advantage.
it?
Which is just amazing.
Oh.
That is peak Mike Dean.
That is incredible.
Right.
He celebrated his advantage.
Because he was almost like, Didier Drogba in it. Like,
Yeah.
right. These are my choices. So first, I've done same as Jake. I've gone for Bobby
Yeah, I
Firmino.
thought- Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that. I
So-
considered that.
Ross Geller.
Bobby Firmino looks like a young Ross Geller, and it's spot on. I couldn't believe it.
That is
and
actually-
again, it was just he's let it grow out, and it's just gone up.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, it's bad when you look similar to a show that was out in the late 90s that is having a flashback to someone's younger, embarrassing years, and that's what Bobby Firmino looked like. So we've touched Firmino.
Oh,
We've touched on
Speak for yourself.
Firmino. So now we'll go to another Liverpool player in Sadio Mane.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Yes. Let it go.
yeah.
Your hair is going. Get rid.
Nah.
If your hairline is
It's beyond
behind
halfway.
you, you got to get rid. You've got to get rid. And lockdown, he's let the rest of it grow. So he's got this little like.
Maybe he's thinking about doing a Wayne Rooney though.
That's the thing, is like get rid and then maybe come back and pretend that nothing happened, which I rate.
Yeah, but then again, like it says, his broad smile suggests he doesn't really care, and frankly, I rate that.
I
Yeah.
quite like it, not gonna lie.
Do you like it? I think it's.
But
way
I think it's
it's-
all right.
It's not a look I'd take on, but
I think when it's all short, it's kind of okay, but this really accentuated how shite his hairline is. I think it's dreadful. I really like Mane. I think he's a great player, and like that, his smile. He's a lovely bloke, apparently.
but you're just slating him because of his hair.
His
Oh,
hairline
you're
is
nice.
dead. His hairline's dead.
Yeah.
So now another one. We're saying lovely players. This one, I don't want to rinse him too much because he is the loveliest of all players.
Mark Pugh.
N'Golo Kante.
Oh right, yeah.
So just ignore that. This is clearly from the same article as well as the Sadio Mane
Well
one.
researched.
But that's what I don't get. Like, he was bald before.
I think that's fine. I think
don't
it's
just-
all right.
Yes, it's not a bad haircut though.
So it's
No,
him.
it's just hair.
He was on par with Ashley Young, who have come back. I think it's just lazy. If you're bold, you're bold.
He's just letting his hair
You
grow,
don't-
mate.
Yeah, but we couldn't
Yeah, but
get.
maybe he
So
goes to the barbers to get it trimmed.
I've got this shite. Kante was bold. Just like, I can't get a haircut yet.
Well,
Can't
nor
take-
can he.
whack a
He might
razor
have
on it.
actually been following the rules.
You can, if you're bold, you could put a razor on it.
I don't
Surely.
think it's that easy though.
Maybe that's what Mane did.
Yeah, he did that once and was like, "Oh, I quite like this." He could grow a full head of hair.
No, he was just looking in the
Imagine.
mirror. He was just looking in the mirror going like this. And then just thought it stopped there.
Yeah, he couldn't see anymore. He's
So it's
"Yeah,
like
that'll
the
do."
opposite of original Ronaldo. Like he's got the
Yeah,
patch at the
that's what
front.
it's getting close to. He's gonna have Ronaldo's gonna be there, and Sadio Mane's finishing off the rest of the heads.
Yeah, I personally think the Kante's haircut's absolutely fine, mate.
Yeah, I didn't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think you're being mean to a nice guy for no
Yeah,
reason.
see, I should have picked Ashley Young, but I tried to stay in the Premier League. I don't know why. Because we've called this Premier League Awards.
Probably why.
Yeah, I think other shouts there was.
I was going to include Andy Carroll, but then his hair's always quite long and.
Yeah,
But he's got the kind of like mutton chops, like Trevor
Thought
from GTA at the moment.
he
I
does
thought
look a
you were
little
going to
bit
go
like Trevor.
for. Sorry.
GTA Newcastle.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go for Sonucci or whatever his name is for Leicester.
He does look like Lord Farquaad though.
He does a bit.
He really does.
So we've all put our nominations. What are we going for?
This is a tough one. Let me just look back at them.
Yeah, so we've got obviously Kante. He's not winning it. I think I'm being a bit harsh. Although I
think
still.
there's two that I will nominate forward as joint winners. But what? Okay, so I think Bobby Firmino is the winner for the worst hair, and then Mike Dean for the worst beard because he's got his hair upside down. You know.
Yeah, I think Todd Cantwell is in with a shout as well.
I think Cantwell agreed.
The fact that that's not a lockdown trim either. That is, he chooses
that's a fair point. Oh, there's lots of variables to take into consideration, isn't there? So you guys going for Cantwell?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Cantwell.
I'm going to go...
Especially the fact that
I think Bobby Firmino. It is just so bad. I know it was a lockdown trim.
It's just the fact that when you compare it to that Ross Geller thing...
Yeah, for that alone, it's... my vote's Firmino, I think. Just pips Cantwell.
I can see where you're coming from with Cantwell.
Yeah, the fact it's not a lockdown, like that is his genuine choice. What are we going for? Need to reach an agreement.
I can agree with Bobby Firmino, I think.
What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I think Bobby, but I think, I agree. Todd would be very close to that.
Yeah, it's close.
Todd is lucky that we had a lockdown. So we could get a haircut, because otherwise he'd be winning that with flying colours.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a question asked, would there?
Okay, so I think worst haircut goes to Bobby Firmino, with special congrats to Mike Dean for the worst facial hair.
Worst/best.
Worst/best, yeah, I'll give him that. So yeah, that is it. That is Premier League awards for the 2019-20 season. So we've gone for Player of the Season, KDB. Young Player of the Season, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Goalkeeper of the Season, we've got Alisson. Most Improved. Don't shake your head now, we agreed on it.
Stringent standards on this podcast.
And if you want to see Deus really disagree with that, go watch our second podcast. Link in the description.
And leave comments if you agree with me.
Yeah. And comments if you disagree.
They're going to be filled.
Most Improved, Adama Traore.
Yeah.
Best Buy, we went Bruno Fernandes for Man United. Shithouse of the Year, Stockley Park. VAR's got that. Surprise Package, Sheffield United. Underperforming Team, we went for Tottenham. And worst haircut was Bobby Firmino or young Ross Geller.
Well done.
Right, we've got through it. We have chatted on and off for about 4.5, maybe 5 hours on this.
We have indeed.
And it has been a lot of fun.
It's a long process, but worth it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. So if everyone has enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe, and there'll be more content. Hopefully we're going to try and do this weekly videos. Got lots of ideas for other podcasts.
Some good, some bad.
you might enjoy some.
You win some, you lose some.
And you draw some.
And on that note,
good night.
Good night. Right. Thank you for watching.